Hello, I'm CJ Marbley. I'm the Chief Nursing Officer and Chief Operating Officer here at New Orleans East Hospital.
Hi, and I'm Ina Davis, the co-chair of the Goldring Family Foundation Center for Jewish Multicultural Affairs.
Welcome to the New Orleans East Hospital, Visa and Alden McDonald, Sue Ellen and Joseph Candizero Diabetes Center Kitchen. Today we have two very special guests here to introduce a great meal for us that's perfect for Resurrection Sunday and for Passover. Allow me to introduce our very special guest, Mrs. Arkeisha Baquet, co-owner and manager of Lil Dizzy's, and her head chef, James Cullen.
So today, we're here to prepare a dish, and I have my head chef, Mr. James Cullen.
Hi, y'all.
That is here. He works with us at Lil Dizzy Cafe. And if you don't know, Lil Dizzy's is in the Tremay area. And I am originally from the 7th Ward, but James is from New Jersey.
I'm from the 7th Ward of Newark.
Yes,
So,
But how long have you been in the city?
about 10 years.
About 10 years?
Yeah,
All right.
give or take.
Awesome. So tell us about this dish that you're going to prepare for us today.
So, this dish is kind of a riff on the trout baquet that we do at the restaurant.
Yes, sir.
But I wanted to lighten it up because, we're trying to do heart healthy, diabetes healthy meal here. So, we're going to, instead of butter, we're going to use olive oil.
Okay, we're
which
going to
we
use
have.
olive oil.
We have some lemon juice we're going to use for acidity and brightness.
Yes.
Some summer squash. It's going to be like a little take on a ratatouille, right? The parsley is going to give it some freshness. And I have a salt-free seasoning, which is basically
Which is
just herbs. Yeah, it's herbs, red pepper flake, and stuff like that.
So this is going to be a good dish, especially for me, a person that's type 2 diabetic.
It is. And what's really nice about it is it goes together really quickly. It's not a dish that's going to take you a long time. From start to finish, it's about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on,
Sounds good.
how fast you go. This is a skin-on redfish, and when you have the skin on the fish, you want to score it. And the reason you score it, you don't want to cut too deep, but you score it so it won't curl up when it goes into the pan, right? So you want it to lay flat.
Okay.
And we're just going to lightly season it. I'm going to move this knife out of the way. I'm going to put this over here for a second. And always keep a towel for your knives and stuff so they don't slip. They don't slide off the countertop. You do not want it, and never try to catch a knife that falls. It's not good. So I have just a pinch of salt here. You don't have to use it, but like when I say a pinch, it's literally a pinch, So, and we're
Just
heating,
a drizzle. We're not going to overdo it.
and we're heating up our pan. And you need to put your fish into a hot pan because if the pan's not hot, the skin will stick and you're gonna have a mess. So when the pan's hot, we're gonna add just a little oil. This whole recipe, we're probably gonna use about 2 teaspoons of oil.
All right.
So then we're gonna take a little bit of our seasonal and just
And this is
over
the
the top.
salt-free seasoning that we're using right now.
This is a salt-free
Perfect.
season, so it's mostly herbs, some red pepper flake, a little dried garlic, just like that. And we'll season both sides.
Okay.
And I have a separate board for my fish and for my vegetables, so we like
So it
to
don't cross-contaminate?
absolutely we
Got
like to
it.
keep it clean. So a lot of the things that we do in restaurants would be good for home cooks to adapt. I mean, using separate cutting boards, washing your hands frequently, having yourself organized. Being organized makes cooking fun. When you run around and you can't find anything, whether it's in a restaurant or it's at home, it's not a lot of fun. So we've got a teaspoon of oil. And you want to put your oil into a hot pan. If you put your oil into a cold pan, you're going to need more. When you put it into a hot pan, it expands, right? So, boom. You see that? You can hear it. It's going to shimmer, and you're going to smell it. And when you smell it, see, it's starting to smoke. That's good. So we're going to take it skin side down, and
That doesn't sound good.
Yep, and we want to shake the fish just a little bit so it doesn't stick. Yep.
Got it.
Just a little bit. And we're going to let it cook there for a second. Then we're going to transfer it to the oven. We want to transfer our fish to the oven to finish, and you really want to cook it on one side 90% of the time.
All right.
And
am I able to shake it?
Yeah.
All right.
If it don't shake around too much, that's okay.
Shake it too much.
No. Well, you want it to have good contact. We can add just
a little bit
just
more.
a little bit more. This whole recipe is like 2 tablespoons, but we're gonna add just a little bit more. And there it is. See, it's
there
fun.
we go.
there. So
It looks good.
when it gets to the right heat, and the other thing we're gonna do, we're gonna move our cutting board. We're gonna take that to the sink. We're gonna take these. If you could give this a quick rinse for me,
Yes, sir.
and we're gonna take our lemons to get a little bit more flavor. We're gonna slice our lemon, just real thin. Maybe 3, that's a good sized piece of fish. And we're gonna put them right on top. And that way, we're gonna cook it skin side down, and it'll baste kind of in the oven. So, now I just moved my lemon off. Okay, so now this is gonna go in the oven, right? And then we're not gonna think about it for about 5 minutes. So while that's going on, I have this pan that was preheating over there.
This is definitely a great meal to prepare with the upcoming Resurrection Sunday coming up. It's a great idea to go with this redfish. And I think all the ingredients that we're using with the yellow squash, the zucchini, and of course fresh parsley and tomatoes, that's a good blend that works with the seafood.
So I'm gonna add some of the zucchini to a fairly hot pan. And if you can give it a little toss.
All right.
Just to coat it. If you want to throw me the yellow squash in there. Yes,
all right,
please.
We're gonna add some squash.
Okay. And we're gonna let that cook. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of this salt-free seasoning.
Salt-free seasoning.
Yes. Yeah. Just
And
a
we
little
can
bit.
use that. We use it on the fish, and now we're able to use it on the vegetables.
Yeah, and
So it helps.
it'll give it a nice herbal quality.
Okay.
Just a pinch.
And a pinch.
Just a pinch, like really a pinch. Like, this isn't even 1/8 of a teaspoon. This is a very small amount. Little black pepper. And now the pan's pretty dry, so you're gonna get
Crackle.
yeah, but you're gonna get some nice color on this stuff.
Yeah. Well, you can see the seasoning cooking into that. It smells awesome.
And then we're gonna add a little bit
tomatoes.
of our cherry tomato. We're gonna let it cook for a second because the tomatoes are more tender. So,
Does it take as long?
No, but it's nice to let them burst a little bit. If they burst, then you get a little bit of juice from the tomatoes. But they add some lovely color. So we're just gonna toss our tomatoes in there.
Tomatoes are my favorite.
I know you ate about 10 of them before we even got started. So we're just gonna toss
that
that.
looks good.
And that's that. We're gonna check on our fish.
Yeah. Take a look and see how that's coming.
Our fish is beautiful. We don't have to worry about that. It's just gonna go a little bit longer. So now I want to let this cook a little bit. Okay.
All right. What is this? A lemon zest?
This is the lemon zest.
Lemon zest. And James, why would we add lemon zest?
Because it gives it brightness. It gives it the flavor of lemon without having all the lemon juice in there. It has the essential oils of the lemon, so if you smell it, you can smell it really strong, like the real lemony flavor there. And
that also helps as some type of seasoning.
What it does is salt is acidic, so it replaces the acid in the salt, so it brings up the brightness of the dish and the flavor of the dish without adding salt, which will raise blood pressure. So
exactly. And being diabetic, we definitely don't want to have too much salt intake.
Nope.
Because that interferes and causes us with our hypertension. And we definitely don't want to do that.
And then we're just gonna cook. Now, if the pan's a little dry, instead of oil, you can add a little water. Yep, a little water, and it'll help steam everything and bring it together. Okay. Water is great. I mean, it's good for everything. It's good for you to drink, but it's great to cook with. You don't always need stock. Water a lot of times will do
the trick.
Do the exact same thing, and it'll cook out some of the flavors and give us a little bit of sauce.
Yeah, I think that did a good job. It's bubbling real good.
Yep. So we're just gonna let that go for a while, and now we're gonna add in a little bit of garlic. Garlic, people, can be a little bit ambivalent about garlic. Some people don't like garlic. I like garlic, but you don't want to add too much and kill the flavor of everything else. But you do want to add enough, but you don't want to add it too early because garlic burns easily. So if you add it too early, it's gonna scorch in the dish. And garlic tastes really bad when it burns. Like it's one of those things you can't get away with burning. Some things you can get away with burning.
Not garlic.
Not garlic, not roux. So don't do
We
that.
add our garlic in.
We add the garlic in. Now I'm just gonna let this simmer down a little bit. All right.
All right.
So, and that's gonna go over here. I'm gonna rinse my hands off real quick.
So James, when you were thinking about a dish to prepare, the redfish was like the first thing that came to your mind as far as our seafood item?
Yeah, because we were working with a variety of parameters. We were working with kosher. We were working with, so that means no shellfish,
Yes, sir.
no bottom feeders like catfish, you know, so it has to be a fin.
Well, some prime seafood.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it had to be fin fish, and then I thought, you know, something that really looks pretty on the plate, and it does. It's just a big, nice looking fillet, and if it gets a little dry, as the French would say, au sec, we can add a little bit more water, and that's fine. You just let it go a
Simmer
little.
on through.
Yeah, a lot of times what I would do is get a lid or another pan and cover that a little bit just to give it a little
Let
bit
it cook
more.
down.
Yeah, just to let it simmer. So now we're going to take a look at our fish, and our fish should be pretty close. It's been in there a while, and you see when you cook it on one side, it's getting there now. A good way to test fish, I keep this little cake tester with me, and if you can pierce the fish easily, there's layers in between it. The layers kind of pop when you put it through. It's not
Yes.
done yet. If it goes through pretty easily, it probably needs another
A few
minute or
more
so.
seconds.
Yeah,
Got it.
probably another minute or two. And you got that lemon flavor in there. So we're gonna start getting this ready to plate.
So would the vegetables go on the plate first?
Yes.
And then surround the fish?
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna add a little parsley for color, and parsley actually cleans your palate. It's kind of like mint. It's really good in that way. So you can chew on parsley, it'll clean your breath, and it's a very underrated herb.
There's multiple uses for parsley.
Yeah, I mean it's a great garnish. It looks good on a plate. Like a lot of times, you'll see a chef before they plate or after they plate.
They decorate with parsley.
They decorate with parsley. Some people use spices like paprika and stuff, but why I don't like paprika is because if you put your finger in it, it'll leave a print, and then you got a fingerprint on the rim of the dish, which I don't like. So we're gonna toss. We're almost done with that. And then when the fish comes up, we're gonna finish it with a little sauce that we're gonna put a pan sauce that we're gonna put together.
That we're going to make to go on top.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I have just a little bit of lemon juice here.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just gonna squeeze this lemon here.
Perfect.
And that's just gonna give us a little brightness. And now we're gonna go to plate with the veg. So I'm going to take my tongs, and I like kitchen tongs. I find that they're the best thing to work with. And then we're just gonna lay some of this out. So you're gonna put your veg in the bottom. You see, I have these tomatoes got nice
They burst open.
They burst
just like you
open.
said.
Yep, they got nice and blistered, and and this is so healthy. You can eat, a good amount of this. This is not going to, we're going to use just a little bit
I
of.
won't have to get on a treadmill
Well,
after I eat this.
no, but I'm not discouraging you from exercising either. So, you like to exercise. I see you at the gym at 4 in the morning.
All right.
Okay, so we're just gonna add a little bit of that sauce. I'm gonna set this aside. Now we're gonna come up with our
Check out
fish.
the redfish.
Yes, indeed. And our fish looks beautiful. So
And it's stoked.
I'm gonna take these lemons off. Just put them in the pan right now. I'm gonna flip this fish over. And we see how we got a nice crust on it, yeah. And
so we're gonna sear the other side for a little
yeah,
bit.
we're gonna just let the other side get a little color. And then I'll flip it and finish on this side. You see how, you got a lot of contact, surface contact. So we're gonna get that skin nice and crispy to finish. And what I like to do with fish at this point is steam it a little bit. So I'm gonna get a little
Add
bit
a
more of
little
that. Yeah, a little bit more of that water, because fish is something you want to be gentle with. You don't want to give it too much heat, except for the skin initially. Then you kind of want to.
Oh, when you put that water, the flavor, you can just smell
The other thing that water is going to do is help us build our sauce, because we're going to put that brown, all the brown bits from the fish, the fond, that's going to go to create our finished product, yes.
Got it.
So right now, we're just about ready to take our fish out. It's getting, you can see it's starting to glisten. It's
So would you recommend, like, to start before this dish to have a nice green salad maybe to go with it?
Absolutely.
All right. That sounds good.
A green salad is definitely a great option.
And with the salad, we would definitely look into using a diabetic-friendly type of dressing to put on top of that.
One of my favorites is just olive oil and lemon juice. It's really, really good. Olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Your dressings don't have to be fancy. They really don't. I find that, the best dressings a lot of times are the simplest ones.
Okay.
And as that browns, and I'll pick that up again. I'm gonna pick up the brownness
I like
above.
olive oil and lemon juice.
Boom. We're gonna take our fish, and we can
put our lemons on.
Put our charred lemons on if we want. So now you see we got all that lovely brown action there. And I'm gonna just do this real quick and I'm gonna take my tongs and and this is where I actually like a rubber spatula or a wooden spoon. Wooden spoon is my favorite,
Okay, so you're gonna lift up the ingredients.
Lift up all the little brown bits, your flavors in there. A wooden spoon is great because it won't scratch your pan. Rubber spatula is good too. So we're gonna add the garlic, and we're gonna reduce a little bit.
And saute that.
We're gonna add some lemon juice, and we're gonna reduce it. I'll add a little more garlic. Just let it we're gonna reduce this. And the water is just going to tighten up, and it's going to pick up all those proteins from the fish.
And it becomes like a stock.
Becomes like a little stock, absolutely. And then...
It smells good.
We have our parsley. And we're going to throw right in there. Like I said, this isn't a fussy dish. This is like an easy dish, but if you make it for somebody, you're going to impress them, because they'll be like, oh, it's so pretty. It looks so colorful. It smells good. It tastes good.
If it tastes as good as it looks, then we're doing a great job.
And so now I'm just going to tighten that sauce up. And you see the pan's almost dry. And that's kind of what you want. So I'm going to turn that off. And then we're just going to kind of pour it right over the top. And the Bordelaise part is... A classic Bordelaise sauce in French cooking is a red wine sauce, but in New Orleans it's a garlic and parsley sauce. And I don't know why that is, but that's what it is. So, and that's what it's going to look like.
All right. This is the Redfish Bordelaise. All right. So, James, I know you've been working with us at Dizzy since about December of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we reopened in February, and you came on as our head chef, and you've been doing an amazing job with that.
Thank you.
And the reason I wanted to definitely partner with New Orleans East Hospital to do this dish with the Diabetic Center is because being type 2 diabetic is a big deal for me. When I found out I was diabetic, I was in my early 20s. And my doctor told me I was his youngest patient he had ever met that was type 2 diabetic. My mother passed away from diabetes, so it is very important to me to try and eat the best that I can, to give myself a chance to live as long as I can, so I don't succumb to the illness of diabetes and the things that could come along with that. James, this dish came out really good, and it smells amazing. Can't wait to try some of that.
Yeah, I think it came out really nicely.
Hey y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Look at this beautiful.
Oh,
This is
That's good.
colorful.
but
Smells
this
good.
is a dish that Mr. James Cullen created today. And what's it called again, James?
That's a Redfish Bordelaise. So it's kind of like a New Orleans Bordelaise sauce, but without the butter. It's extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, and parsley. Give it a little brightness over. Kind of like what a ratatouille, just some summer squash, zucchini, and tomatoes.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for coming. We're so happy that you came. This is an awesome dish. It smells excellent. And we would like to thank you so much for participating, because this partnership that we have is one that is going to offer the right care at the right place at New Orleans East Hospital, and it helps us to be able to address those pressing issues like diabetes in the community.
I love this dish. It's a New Orleans classic that also helps people meet their health goals. Swapping out the butter for olive oil makes it heart healthy. Adding all these other flavor elements besides salt lowers the sodium as well. It's a lean protein. It includes vegetables right in the main dish, which helps people get their 3 servings of vegetables per day, and fiber, which helps steady blood sugar. The only other thing you would want to do if you cook this at home would be to round out the meal by adding a whole grain or a starchy vegetable, and you got yourself a delicious, healthy meal that would be perfect for any dinner party or gathering, I think.
We want you to call us at area code 504-592-6884. That you can call that number for information, and we also have a fax number. So if you would like to contact your healthcare provider and ask them to send a referral over so we can see you, the number is area code 504-592-6893. Make sure you call and schedule today.